of my 6th annual SLAP challenge. SLAP, S-L-A-P, stands for squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. We are doing 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day every single day, except Sundays for 40 days. And this is day 38 already, which is amazing. But that does not mean that it is too late to join the challenge. It is never too late to join the challenge. You can hop in today. Just do the final 3 days of the challenge with me. Why not? It's better than doing nothing. Of course, you don't have to join the challenge at all. If you just want to do this workout with me today, that is fantastic. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video. So if you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the workout, you can go ahead and use the chapter markers to do that. If you would like to hear just a little bit about what the challenge is and how it works, I have no time today, so I'm going to do my best to explain it very briefly. But I will begin by telling you that there is a playlist for this challenge. I'm going to link the playlist up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and I will link it at the very end of the video as well, just so that you can't miss it. So click on that link, make sure you save the playlist, even if you're undecided whether or not you want to join the challenge. Save the playlist so that when and if you decide you want to do the challenge, you have all of the workouts readily available to you. And then just begin by watching that day 1 video. That video is going to explain everything there is to know about this challenge, what it is, how it works, why we're doing it, who is Brutus, why does he so deserve to be slapped the way we are slapping him with these reps of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups every day, where to begin, how you can participate. All right, all of that information is in the video that I shared on day 1 of the challenge. I also took a lot of time going over how to do your squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups with the correct form, and I provided tons of beginner modifications that I promise you can do. I have been going out of my way this year to ensure that the challenge is accessible to super duper ultra day 1 beginners. So if you are a beginner, you're in the right place. Please click on the link, save the playlist, watch that day 1 video, and then once I have convinced you that you can do squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups, and you can do this challenge with me, then you're gonna go ahead and start with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday. As long as you start with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday, then all you have to do is follow along with the playlist and everything will fall in place. I have made it super easy to follow along, but of course, if anything is unclear, if you have questions or if you need help, please just reach out. I'm right here, okay? But I'm not just working out with you every day. I am here to answer your questions and provide guidance. I'm here to support you and encourage you every step of the way. I'm here to help motivate you. So don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or if you need help. Now, after you have watched that day 1 video, if you're still not convinced that you can do the challenge, please remember that if you decide to do it, it's your challenge. So you do it in whatever way works for you. I am doing 160 reps every single day for 40 days, and that's a lot. If that's just too much for you right now, maybe you can commit to doing 80 reps a day. That would be 20 squats, 20 lunges, 20 reps of an ab exercise, and 20 push-ups every day. You don't have to do them all at once, okay? You can spread them out throughout the day. So if you want to commit to doing 80 reps a day, you can get up in the morning and do just 5 squats, 5 lunges, 5 reps of any ab exercise you want, and 5 push-ups. All right, and then you can just repeat that 3 more times throughout the day. You could do it again after lunch, once more when you get home from work, and then once before bed, and there's your 80 reps for the day, okay? So if you can only do half the amount I'm doing, then do half. If you can't commit to doing all 40 days, maybe you can just commit to doing the first 20 days. Or maybe instead of working out 6 days a week, you can do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, okay? If ever you cannot do the variations of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups that I'm doing on any given day, just swap it out with another variation that you can manage. It is so easy to customize this challenge, okay? As long as you're getting your reps done every day or every other day, whatever you've committed to, then you have met your requirement to participate in the challenge. So you don't have to go in order through the playlist. You can do any workout on any given day. If you don't like the workout that I'm doing today, but there was a workout that you liked a couple of weeks ago, just repeat that one, okay? If you like the workout I'm doing today and you want to work out along with the video, but you can't do the push-up variation I'm doing, just swap it out with a different push-up variation, okay? So as long as you're getting your reps done, it doesn't matter which workout you choose, and it doesn't even matter if you do a structured workout at all. You can break up your reps randomly throughout the day, so just do the challenge in a way that works for you. If you are not a beginner, then the workouts we're doing this year for the challenge are probably not going to challenge you very much. So if you want the workouts to really challenge you, I'm going to recommend, if you're more advanced, that you follow along with last year's playlist. I will link that playlist up here in the iCard as well. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and I will link it again at the very end of this video. So save last year's playlist, but save this year's playlist as well if you're really advanced, because even if you're really strong and you're in great shape and you're capable of doing the more difficult workouts that we did last year, the workouts we're doing this year are still great workouts. They're much shorter, much simpler, but these are a great option to have. So for example, if you have absolutely no time, like me today, and you still want to get your reps done, you're going to be able to complete most of the workouts that we're doing this year for the challenge. If you're in really good shape, you're going to be able to complete almost all of these workouts in under 10 minutes. So if you're really pressed for time today, one of these short workouts is perfect. And also, because I'm focusing on beginners this year, I'm using very little equipment. I'm not using any fitness equipment whatsoever. If I'm lifting weights, I'm using household items like shampoo bottles or water bottles. So we've really been focusing on body weight exercises only, no equipment workouts. So what that means for you is if you're traveling, if you're staying at a hotel or an Airbnb and you don't have access to fitness equipment and you didn't bring any with you, then one of these body weight workouts that we're doing this year for the challenge might be just perfect. Or maybe you just want to go for a long bike ride today, or a long hike or a long run or something. One of these short little bodyweight workouts will be a great warm-up for your hike or your bike ride, or maybe you just feel like taking your workout to the park or the beach today or something, and you don't want to be lugging a bunch of equipment with you. You don't want to be lugging dumbbells or kettlebell or a big heavy sandbag or medicine ball or something like that. So again, one of these short, simple little body weight workouts that we're doing this year for the challenge might be perfect. So these workouts that we're doing this year are a great option to have. So if you're more advanced, definitely save both playlists. And then you can just kind of bounce around back and forth between the two playlists. Remember, you don't have to go in order. You don't have to stick with one playlist or the other. As long as you're getting your reps done every day, it doesn't matter how you get them done or when or where you get them done. And if you don't even want to do a structured workout, remember, you can just spread out your reps randomly throughout the day, whatever works for you, all right? So hopefully that is all clear. Remember, I'm here to help, so ask questions if you have them. But I have really, I know I say this all the time, but it's for real today. I have zero time. So I'm going to provide just a very abbreviated sort of tutorial today. I do not have time to go into a lot of details. So I'm going to show you the exercises that I'm going to be doing today, and then I will very quickly explain the format. We'll do a quick warm up together and then get the reps done. But if you are an absolute beginner, then the modifications that I provide you today might not be sufficient. And if you really are unclear about the proper form for squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups, just know that I'm not going to go into a ton of detail today because I just don't have time. So if you are a day one beginner, you absolutely can do this workout with me, but if you need more like in-depth explanation and demonstrations of beginner modifications, I just don't have time to get into that today in great detail, but I did that yesterday. So if you did not see yesterday's workout and you are an absolute super duper day one beginner, you've never done a workout before in your entire life, you have no clue how to do a squat or a lunge or a push-up, please watch yesterday's workout. I'm going to link yesterday's workout up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video. So please, if you are an ultra day one beginner and you're not familiar with the correct form for squats, lunges, abs, or push-ups, please watch yesterday's workout. You're going to see tons of beginner modifications. You can do that workout with me, great. And then if you want to come back and do today's workout with that knowledge of how to apply your day one beginner modifications, that is what I recommend. All right, so I really got to get into this thing. I'm starting with push-ups, so let's go over push-ups. I'm just going to very quickly run through the proper form for your push-ups. There's 3 main bullet points that I want you to check off. We're gonna start at the top and work our way down. So your first bullet point, you want your head in line with your spine. So if you imagine you're standing with your back up against the wall, imagine just lightly pressing the back of your head into the wall, and that's where you want your head to be, and that's where you want it to stay. So you want your head perfectly straight up and down in line with your spine, and you want to maintain this position as you're up here in your plank position and throughout the entire duration of the exercise. So make sure that your head is in line with your spine, and make sure you keep your head still. Don't allow your head to bob up and down while you're doing your push-ups. Bullet point number 2, shoulders away from the ears. It's very common while you're up here in your plank position, especially as you fatigue, that you might find yourself kind of sinking into your shoulders like this. You want to correct that. So the way I want you to fix it is, first of all, spread out all 10 fingers as wide as you can so that your weight is as evenly distributed as possible. And then instead of being down here, kind of sinking into your shoulders, with your shoulders hunched up by your ears, you're going to press the ground away from you. Push yourself up as high as you possibly can in this plank position. So that's your second bullet point. Your third bullet point, flat back. So if you find that you're allowing your hips or your belly to kind of droop down towards the mat like this, that is causing an arch in my back, we want a flat back. So you're going to tighten up your abs, super tight, like someone's about to come and punch you in the stomach, and you're bracing for that impact, and then you're going to use your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them high. The point is that you want your body in one straight line, either from your heels to your shoulders, or if you're doing knee push-ups, you want a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. All right, and from there, nothing moves, okay? So bullet point number 1, head is in line with your spine. Don't allow your head to drop down. Don't overcorrect by hyperextending your neck. You just want your head in a nice neutral position, in line with your spine, and then it doesn't move. Keep your head still. Bullet point number 2, shoulders are away from the ears. So instead of sinking down into your shoulders like this, you're spreading out those fingers, pressing the mat away from you, pushing yourself up nice and high so that your shoulders are away from your ears. Bullet point number 3, flat back. So your hips are lifted nice and high, your abs are super strong and tight and engaged, and you are not allowing your hips or your belly to droop down towards the mat like this, causing an arch in your back. All right, and then from there, all you're going to do is bend your elbows, lower your chest as close to the mat as you can without breaking that straight line, either from your knees to your shoulders or from your heels to your shoulders. All right, so if you can't get your chest all the way down, that's fine, shorten up your range of motion, but don't compensate for not being able to get your chest all the way down by lowering your hips or your belly down to the mat. Don't compensate for not being able to get your chest all the way down by lowering your forehead to the mat. Remember, your head stays still and your back stays flat, shoulders away from the ears. So no matter what push-up variation you choose, remember you can do any push-up variation you want, no matter what push-up variation you choose, please make sure you're minding your form, make sure you're checking off all of those bullet points. All right, so head in line with the spine, keep the head still, shoulders away from the ears. So spread out the fingers, push the ground away from you, flat back. So tighten up those abs, use your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them high. And then keep your body in one straight line. Never break that straight line either from your knees to your shoulders or from your heels to your shoulders as you lower your chest down towards the mat and push yourself back up. Okay, so that is your proper form for your push-ups. I'm going to be doing a very difficult, very advanced push-up variation today. So let me quickly show you what I'm doing, and then I'll show you how to modify. Okay, so I'm doing these plyo jump out push-ups, and what that means is that typically, when we begin our push-up, I tell you to start by placing your hands directly underneath your shoulders as you come up into your plank position, and your feet are about hip width apart. But today, we're actually going to start with our hands and our feet together. So you're going to come up into a plank position, but your hands and your feet are going to be close together. And then, as I sink down into my push-up, I'm going to jump my hands out wide, and at the same time, I'm going to jump my feet out wide like this. And then as I push myself up, I'm going to jump my hands and my feet back in towards the center, and that's my push-up. Okay, so I'm jumping the hands and feet out on the way down, jumping the hands and feet up on the way in. So it will look like this. Starting in my plank position, hands and feet together, jump them out on the way down, jump them in on the way up. Okay, so very quickly, let's go through some modifications. One thing you can do to make it a bit easier is eliminate jumping in and out with your hands and just jump in and out with your feet. So if you're doing push-ups from your toes, you can start the way you would normally start a push-up by placing your hands directly underneath your shoulders, but start with your feet together, okay? And then as you sink down into the push-up, your hands are gonna stay planted the whole time, but you're just gonna jump your feet out wide on the way down, jump them in on the way up. I call this a dynamic push-up, okay? So hands directly underneath the shoulders, feet together. As you bend your elbows and lower your chest to the mat, you're gonna jump your feet out wide. And as you push yourself up, jump the feet in. Okay, so your hands stay planted the whole time. So you're just doing the legs instead of legs and arms, okay? So that's one possibility. You could also do like side-to-side push-ups. So if jumping your hands and feet out wide is too difficult, you can step and just alternate sides. So you can start with your hands and feet together, and then as you sink down into the push-up, you can just take a step to the side. So one hand and one foot stay planted, and with the other hand and the other foot, you're gonna step out to the side as you sink down into your push-up. And then as you push yourself back up, you're gonna return to your starting position. So step one hand and one foot out to the side, push up, and then as you push yourself back up, step them back in. Alternate sides with each rep. So step out with the hand, step out with the foot, and then as you push yourself up, step back in. All right, so that's similar. You're doing the push-up in the same position with your hands and your feet out wide, but instead of jumping your hands and feet out wide, you're stepping them out one at a time. So that's another modification. If you're doing knee push-ups, then what you really can do is, obviously you're not going to be jumping your knees out and in, but you can do the side-to-side push-ups with just your hands, okay? So you can start here with your hands together, okay? So plank position, knees down, hands together, that's your starting position. And then you can just step one hand out to the side as you do your push-up, and then step the hand back in to the center, return to your starting position, alternate sides with each rep. So now step the other hand to the side as you do your push-up, step the hand back to the center, return to your starting position. All right, so there's a few modifications. Remember that if you cannot, remember any push-up variation you want to do is fine. All right, always any push-up variation you want to do is fine, but if you want to kind of do something similar to what I'm doing, there are some modifications for you. And remember that if you cannot, first of all, if you have the upper body strength and the core strength to do knee push-ups, but the reason you avoid them is because you have bad knees and it hurts your knees, remember that it may be as simple as just doubling up your mat a couple of times so that you have more protection for your knees. You could also grab a towel, fold up a towel and place that under your knees, or maybe use a throw pillow or a seat cushion or something like that. So keep in mind that if the thing that prevents you from doing knee push-ups are your knees, or the things that prevent you from doing knee push-ups are your knees, then you may just need to have a little bit more protection for your knees, and that might solve the issue. But if you're absolutely just knee push-ups are not a possibility for you, you can't get down on the mat, then remember you have standing push-up options as well, and I covered all of those in yesterday's workout. So if you need to see those, please watch the tutorial from yesterday's workout, because I just don't have time to go over it today. But generally speaking, raising your hands is going to make the push-ups easier, and the higher you raise your hands, the easier the push-up will become. So if you can do push-ups with your hands on the kitchen counter, for example, that's going to be very accessible for most beginners. You don't have to get down on the mat. You don't have to put any pressure on your knees. You could also use a chair or a bar stool or the arm of your couch or something like that. Just make sure that if you are using any sort of elevated surface for support, a plyo box, a park bench, okay, anything, make sure that whatever you are using as your elevated surface is strong enough to support your entire body weight. Make sure that it is sturdy. It's nothing that's going to collapse or break or fold up on you when you put weight on it. So don't use a folding chair. Don't use one of those like collapsible stools, okay? You don't want it to be able to fold or break. It should be something that's good quality and well made and in decent condition. And make sure that your elevated surface is stable. So your kitchen countertop is great for push-ups because that's not going anywhere. But if you're using a chair or a bar stool, for example, it's very easy for your chair to kind of slide from underneath you when you put weight on it. So I always recommend placing your chair or bar stool or whatever you're using on top of an exercise mat so that it stays put, okay? So any number of elevated surfaces will work as long as whatever you're using to assist you is strong enough to support your entire body weight, sturdy enough so that it will not collapse or break or fold up on you when you put weight on it, and stable so that it cannot slide from underneath you, okay? So please use your common sense, be smart, be safe. I don't want anyone getting hurt. And if you need to see those modifications, again, please watch yesterday's tutorial because I need to move on from push-ups, but that's what I'm doing. So you have what I'm doing, you have a few modifications, and we've got over the proper form for your push-ups, okay? So the next exercise I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be combining my squats and my abs into one exercise. And good news, if you are someone who cannot get down on the mat, we're going to be doing a standing ab variation today. And I'm combining it with my squats. So, for your squats and lunges, okay? So your bullet points for your push-ups were head in line with the spine, shoulders away from the ears, flat back, okay? Those are the things you want to keep reminding yourself of as you're doing the push-ups. For squats and lunges, here's what I want you to remember. Flat back, weight in the heels. So here's how we accomplish that. Step one, tuck your shoulder blades into your back pockets. That means your shoulders are back and down, all right? That's also going to help you keep your chest lifted nice and high, and that's what we want. You want to maintain that feeling of your chest being lifted, okay? So that's step one. Tuck the shoulder blades into the back pockets so that your shoulders are back and down and your chest is lifted high. Step two, just like we did for the push-ups, you want to tighten up your abs, super tight, like someone's about to come along and punch you in the stomach as hard as they can. You're bracing for that impact. And then step three is not squatting, because from here, your shoulders are back and down, your chest is high, your abs are tight. So far, we're looking great. But if you think about just squatting straight down from here, what's going to tend to happen is that your knees are going to end up out over your toes. And we don't want that. That's a really good way to hurt your knees, okay? Don't want anyone getting hurt. So instead, step three is hinging at the hips so that you make sure that you're keeping your weight in your heels. So when I really push my booty back, like I'm trying to touch the wall behind me with my booty, then do you see what happens? I go from this to this, okay? All of my weight is in my heels. I can actually pick up my toes. And pushing my booty back like this, at the same time, remembering that I'm keeping my chest lifted high, that's what's going to help me maintain that flat back. So I'm hinging at the hips, pushing my booty back like I'm trying to touch the wall behind me with my booty, and at the same time, trying to touch the wall in front of me with my chest so that my spine is nice and elongated. What we're trying to avoid is a rounded back. All right, so when we were down in our plank position, when I said you want a flat back, we were trying to avoid an arched back, okay? So we were tightening up our abs, lifting our hips high. With your squats and your lunges, what you're trying to avoid is the opposite of that, a rounded back. So you're gonna tuck your shoulder blades into your back pockets, chest is lifted nice and high, push that booty back. So now you see how my back is flat and the weight is in my heels. And from here is where you can go ahead and sink down into your squat. Then you're gonna press the ground away from you to stand, actively press your heels into the ground like you are trying to push the ground away from you with your heels. It's going to activate all of the muscles in your feet, through your legs, your quads, especially your glutes, and of course your abs are already super strong and tight and engaged. So that's your form for just a basic air squat, but those bullet points are going to apply to any squat variation, okay? So just remember with squats and lunges, flat back, weight in the heels. So let's put it all together. Shoulders back and down, chest lifted high, tighten up the abs, push the booty back. You're hinging at the hips like you're trying to touch the wall. Behind you with your booty, trying to touch the wall. In front of you with your chest, keeping that chest lifted nice and high. And now with your back flat and the weight in your heels, you're gonna sink down into your squat and then press the ground away from you to stand. Shoulders back and down, chest is high, abs are tight. Booty goes back, flat back, weight in the heels, sink into the squat, press your heels into the ground, pushing the ground away from you to stand. If you can get your thighs parallel to the ground in your squat, that's ideal, that's what we're going for. But just make sure that you're working to your own level. Don't push your body into doing anything it's not ready to do. That's your goal, that's what you're working towards, but you might not be there today. As long as your back is flat and the weight is in your heels, it's okay if you can only squat down this low, okay? Just remember that what you're going for is trying to get your thighs parallel to the ground. You might not be there today, and that's fine. Make sure you're working to your own level, okay? Listen to your body, be smart, be safe. Please don't push it, but as long as your back is flat and your weight is in your heels, then you're good. All right, so any squat variation you want to do is fine. Just make sure that whatever squat variation you choose, you're keeping your back flat, keeping the weight in your heels, okay? So I'm going to be doing kind of a sumo squat. All that means is that I'm going to start with my feet wide apart, and I'm going to have my toes pointed out slightly at about a 45-degree angle, okay? So they're not facing you directly, they're not facing this wall next to me, they're splitting the difference, kind of in the middle. So feet out wider than shoulder width apart, toes pointed out at about a 45-degree angle. So again, I'm gonna tuck my shoulder blades into my back pockets. Shoulders are back and down, chest is high. I'm gonna tighten up my abs, push the booty back, like I'm trying to touch this gate behind me with my booty, keeping my chest lifted, back flat, weight in the heels as I sink down into this squat. And I'm gonna stay down low in the squat, and then I'm going to add my oblique crunch. Remember, we're combining squats and abs today. All right, so I'm going to actually start with my hands clasped behind my head, and then I'm going to do my squat, and while I'm down here, I'm going to crunch to the side and bring elbow to knee, okay? Really feeling that crunch in my obliques. Then I'm gonna use my obliques, engage my obliques to lift my torso back upright, press my heels into the ground to stand, all right? So squat and crunch. Return to an upright position, press the heels into the ground to stand. Squat, oblique knee crunch, bringing elbow to knee, and stand. If you cannot get your elbow to your knee, just get it as close as you can, but that's what you're working towards, okay? If you can, you wanna squat real low, and you wanna actually touch your elbow to your knee, but work to your own level. So if you can't squat as low and you're here, you're not gonna be able to tap your knee with your elbow. So just get it as close as you can. That's what you're going for. That's what you're working towards. Just make sure you're feeling that crunch in your obliques, okay? So if you are an ultra beginner and that's too difficult, you need to hold onto something for support. Again, I covered all of that in yesterday's video. I would love to go over it again with you today, but I just can't. It's not an option. So if you need to hold on to a strong, sturdy, stable, elevated surface for support, you can have a chair or a bar stool or something like that next to you. Hold on for support as you do your squat, and then you can just do your knee crunch like that, holding onto a chair or the wall for support, okay? So squat and crunch. So you can keep this hand behind your head, just like I was doing. So you can squat first, then stand and do your oblique crunch, okay? So that's your beginner modification. Sorry I can't go over it in more detail, but you can see that in yesterday's tutorial if you need to. I'm flustered because I'm trying to go so fast. So that's push-ups, squats, and abs. Okay, so moving on to lunges. Doing side lunges. So again, shoulders back and down. Remember, your bullet points are the same for squats and lunges. Flat back, weight in the heels. So start by tucking the shoulder blades into the back pockets. Your shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted high. Tighten up the abs, okay? Same first few steps as with squats. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with my feet close together. This is going to be my standing leg. It will stay planted. I'm going to pick up the other foot and take a step out to the side. And then I'm going to bend. This is my lunging leg, so the lunging leg bends. And again, I'm pushing my booty back, keeping my back flat, keeping the weight in the heel of this lunging foot, all right? And then I'm going to press the ground away with this heel to return to my starting position. I'm going to be adding something, but just for your basic side lunge, you're gonna step your foot back. So this is a modification that you may use because you can just stick with side lunges, okay? So from this side, let me show you that I'm going to step to the side and I'm going to bend this leg, push my booty back, okay? So as I sink into the lunge, I'm trying to touch the wall behind me with my booty, trying to touch the wall in front of me with my chest. So what I'm trying to avoid is a rounded back, okay? So tuck the shoulder blades into the back pockets, shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted high, elongating that spine so that my back is flat and the weight is in my heel of this lunging foot. Then press the heel into the ground and stand. All right, so I'm actually going to come down and touch the toe of my lunging foot. But again, you need to make sure you're working to your own level. So it's goals versus objective. Your goal is to tap that toe, but not at the expense of your objective. Your objective is flat back, weight in the heel. So if the only way you can touch this toe is by rounding your back, then don't worry about touching your toe. It's more important to keep your back flat and keep the weight in this heel. So if keeping your back flat, you can only come down this deep into the lunge and you can't reach your toe without rounding your back, then just tap your knee. Okay, the important thing is that your back is flat and your weight is in the heel of that lunging foot. Okay, so that's a side lunge. Lunge to the side, tap the foot if you can. If not, tap your knee. Just make sure your back is flat, weight is in the heel, step back. Lunge, and return to your starting position. Holding on to a strong, sturdy, stable chair or other elevated surface if you need to, okay? I'm actually going to, instead of stepping this foot back and placing it back down on the ground, when I step back, I'm going to drive this knee up in front of me, up towards my chest. And then I'm just going to kind of guide the knee around with my hand before I put the foot down. Okay, so opening up the hips a little bit. If you have done any of these workouts that we've been doing this year so far for the challenge, this is the same move that we do during our warm-up. If you've seen the warm-up routine that we do every day, that's part of our warm-up routine. We do this move right here to kind of open up the hip flexors. And I have been trying to incorporate more flexibility and mobility drills into the workouts. So we're going to incorporate that little mobility drill into our lunge variation today. And it's also going to help with balance. So if you are having trouble balancing, the goal is to go right from your lunge directly into your knee up and then around without tapping your foot down. So you can see, just demonstrating it right there, I lost my balance, I had to tap my foot down, right? So your goal is that this foot never touches the ground until you're resetting for your next rep. Lunge, drive the knee up. Okay, so your goal is to remain perfectly balanced and have the movement completely under control the whole time. But that's not reality. It's very likely that you're going to struggle with your balance. It's very likely that you're going to wobble and lose your balance, and you may need to tap your foot down to check your balance, and that's fine. I know it can be frustrating, but just remember our philosophy of embracing the wobble, okay? So if you're wobbling a lot and fighting for your balance and you have to keep checking your balance, just try to remember that all of that wobbling is great core work. Every time you're wobbling around and fighting for your balance as hard as you can, you're actually causing all of those tiny little stabilizer muscles all throughout your core to be firing like crazy. And you're also really working this standing leg. Okay, so I know it can be frustrating. You're trying to balance, and if you're not able to balance the way you want to, you're failing at your goal. And failure is frustrating. And I don't want you to feel discouraged. So if you find that you're starting to get discouraged, I first want you to try to make that paradigm shift. That's the first kind of solution. That's the first thing I want you to try if you're feeling discouraged because you're having trouble balancing, is to try to embrace the wobble. To try to tell yourself, every time I'm wobbling, I'm doing amazing core work, I'm getting stronger. This is a good thing that I'm doing for my body. But if that's not working for you, or you're just having so much trouble balancing that it's making the workout take too long and it's just too frustrating and it's making you want to just quit, you have to decide where your threshold is, okay? So you can kind of, I'm not saying to stifle the frustration. I know it's frustrating. Feel the frustration. That's human, that's normal, that's natural, okay? But do your best to reframe it into something positive so that even though it's frustrating because you're not balancing, okay, I gotcha, that's valid, but you are doing really great core work. So it's not all bad. So try to do that if you can, but if you're just wobbling too much and losing your balance, eliminate the knee lift and just do side lunges. That's fine, okay? So if it's too frustrating, just come here, or you can step back and then drive the knee up. You can do your lunge, reset, and then drive the knee up and do your mobility drill, okay? So there's lots of different options. Set your foot back down and reset. Remember, it's fine to check your balance, but the goal, what you're working towards, we want to do our best to go straight from the lunge into the knee up and guide the knee around with your hand, okay? So you're just making like a big circle with your knee. So opening up that hip flexor, that's the movement, okay? So maybe if you want to see it from the side, driving the knee up and then just making a big circle with my knee, okay? Like that. So that's it, that's all for exercises. Hopefully those modifications will work for you. As always, if you need any further help with beginner modifications, I'm right here to help, okay? So very quickly, here's the format. I'm going to start with push-ups. I'm going to do 10 push-ups, plyo, jump out push-ups. You do any push-up variation you want, 10 reps. Then I'm going to move on to my squats and abs combo, 20 reps. I'm going to stay on the same side for all 20 reps. If you don't want to do that, you can alternate sides. I'm talking about the ab component, okay? So you're going to squat. You can stay on the same side for all 20 reps. That's what I'm doing. Or you can alternate sides for your oblique crunch with each rep if you prefer doing it that way. I just really want to feel that burn. So I want to stay on one side for all 20 reps. But you do it whatever way you want. You can alternate sides with each rep if you prefer. But once you have completed 20 total reps of squats and abs, whether you're doing all 20 reps to the same side or whether you're alternating sides with each rep, once you've completed 20 reps of that little combo, you're going to move on to another set of 10 push-ups. So I'm going to be doing another 10 plyo jump out push-ups. So you do any push-up variation you want. And then we'll move on to our lunges. So again, we're going to be staying on the same leg for all 20 reps, okay? And then we're just gonna repeat that whole thing once more. So make sure that if you are, actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna do, yeah, we'll just do that. We'll repeat the whole thing. So then you'll start again with another 10 push-ups, and then you'll do your squats and abs combo. So for me, I'm gonna do all my first 20 reps towards this wall, leaning towards this side for my oblique crunch. So then the second time through, I'm gonna do all 20 reps leaning towards the other wall for my oblique crunch. But if you're alternating sides with each rep, then you don't need to worry about that. Just do another 20 reps of your squats and abs combo the same way you did it in round one. And then our final set of 10 push-ups, and then we'll move on to our final set of 20 lunges. So again, make sure I'm gonna start towards this side of my workout space, lunging towards this wall for the first round. So then with the second round, I'm gonna make sure that I start towards this side of my workout space and pick up the opposite foot, lunge towards the other wall, drive that knee up and guide it around, okay? So just remember to make sure that you're switching sides so that you work both sides evenly. Hopefully that is all clear. Please remember that I always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video, and I'm going to do the workout right along with you, so watch me do it to read the instructions. But then of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format and how it all fits together, if you have questions about the exercises we're doing today, any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with beginner modifications beyond what I have already provided, I'm right here to help. So please just ask, but it's very important that you do understand how to do the exercises correctly before you begin the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury and just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. And you guys know it is also incredibly important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me. I'm always here to help facilitate that, but especially so for this challenge this year. So please reach out if you have questions or if you need help. Also, especially if you are going to be working out along with the video, please remember to go at your own pace and remember to mind your form. So it's one thing to understand how to do all of the exercises correctly before you begin the workout, but it's equally as important that you are applying that knowledge and actually doing the exercises with the proper form during the workout. All right, so make sure if you find yourself just kind of racing through the exercises because you set a really ambitious time goal and you're trying to go really, really fast so that you make your time goal and you can see you got a great score. If you're racing just to go fast and you find that your form starts to get sloppy, that means you need to slow down, okay? So if you're in decent shape, you will probably be faster than I am. Be faster than I am if that's where you are. That's great, as long as you're not sacrificing your form to get there. But if you're racing to keep up with me and you find that your form starts getting sloppy, again, that means you need to slow down. If you fall behind, either because you're just working at a slower pace than I am, or because you find that you need to pause and take rest breaks, fine. Pause the video and just come back when you're ready, okay? I'm not going anywhere. I will be here. We can finish the workout together. I do want you to challenge yourself. If you do need to pause and rest, you should absolutely pause the video and rest. But challenge yourself to keep the rest breaks as short as you can. That being said, they should be as long as you need. You should only resume the workout once you feel that you have regained enough strength and you have enough stamina to continue with good form. All right, so challenge yourself to see how short you can keep the rest breaks, but again, you have to make the decision that's best for you, okay? So please listen to your body, be smart, be safe, make sure you're going at your own pace, and make sure you're working to your own level. Do not push your body into doing anything it's not ready to do, and don't sacrifice your form for speed. I hope I've covered everything. If you are ready to go ahead and do this workout, go ahead and grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't have a mat, a towel may suffice. If you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. I'm not going to be using a mat because I am not going to be doing an ab exercise that requires me being down on a mat. I'm just going to wear some fitness gloves to make my push-ups more comfortable. But if you are doing knee push-ups, you're going to be much more comfortable with something soft beneath you. So definitely grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If you need to hold on to something for support, grab a strong, sturdy, stable chair or bar stool or some other sort of elevated surface. Remember to make sure that whatever you are using to assist you is strong enough to support your entire body weight, sturdy enough so that it cannot collapse or break or fold up on you when you put weight on it, and make sure that it is stable so that it can't slide from underneath you when you put weight on it. And then you can pause the video, go get dressed, meet me right back here. We are going to do a quick 5-minute warm up, and then we'll get our reps done together. All right, so as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm up. You're going to begin by just allowing your head to fall towards one shoulder, and then place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. So you are not actively pulling your ear down towards your shoulder. You're just resting your hand on top of your head and relaxing your hand, relaxing your arms, relaxing your shoulders. You're just letting gravity do all of the work of gently stretching the other side of your neck. So now we're going to switch sides. Let your head fall towards the opposite shoulder. Place your hand on your head and just rest it there. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed, not up by your ears. Make sure your arm is relaxed. Now we're going to do some head rolls. So you're going to just start by letting your chin fall to your chest and then towards the other shoulder and back. And with each roll, you're going to start feeling your head getting heavier and heavier. Your arms are nice and loose and you're just like a rag doll, expanding your range of motion with each roll and letting your entire body just fall in front of you. Now we're going to roll the shoulders. So make big, big circles as you roll those shoulders back. Really exaggerate the movement. Next, we're doing arm circles, but we're going to start small with our arm circles. So you're going to extend your arms to the side and start by making small circles, but then little by little, as the interval progresses, you can start making your circles bigger and bigger until finally you are exploring your full range of motion, making the circles as big as you possibly can. Now step the feet out wider than shoulder width apart, bend your knees and kind of sweep your hands in front of you. And then as you straighten your legs, you're going to reach up above you as high as you can, like you're trying to touch the ceiling. And each time you bend your knees, start expanding your range of motion, sinking deeper and deeper into that squat. Now leave your feet planted right where they are. We're just gonna lunge side to side, nice and easy, adding the arms. So with each lunge, you're reaching across your body like you are trying to throw your arm across the room. Then we're gonna step our feet together and march. So bring the feet to the center and march, keeping those knees low at first, but then little by little, as the interval progresses, you're going to start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you can towards your chest. Feel a nice little stretch in your glutes. And now we're going to do the same thing with a nice light jog. So just jogging in place. Knees are low to start, but then little by little, you're going to start driving your knees up, higher and higher towards your chest, until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you can. Now booty kicks, so it's still just a nice light jog, but with each step, you're bringing your foot behind you, trying to kick yourself in the booty with your heel. Now for this next one, you may need to hold on to the wall or a chair for support. If not, you can just have your hands on your hips with me. You're just gonna transfer your weight into one leg, pick up the other foot, and just swing the leg. Swing the leg to the front, swing the leg behind you, nice and loose. We're gonna switch legs, so put this foot down, transfer your weight, pick up the opposite foot, and just start swinging the leg in front of you and behind you. You can start low, and then start expanding your range of motion. We're gonna switch legs again. So you're going to put this foot down, transfer your weight into this leg, take the other leg, extend it up in front of you, and just make a little semicircle. Bringing the leg around and behind you. And with each semicircle, you're gonna start lifting the leg higher and higher until finally, you can drive your knee up in front of you towards your chest, kind of guide it around with your hand, just like we're doing for our lunge variation today. So other side, extend the leg out in front, bring it around to behind, and then finally, drive the knee up in front of you, guide it around with your hand. Hamstring stretch. This is our final interval. So the way I'm using this post You can use the wall or a chair to help you get into this stretch because it's going to make it easier to keep your back flat. And if you can keep your back flat, that's just going to help you isolate your hamstrings a lot more effectively for the stretch. It's fine if you round your back in this stretch, you're not gonna hurt yourself. But if you keep your back as flat as you can while you do this hamstring stretch, you are immediately going to feel that stretch all through the back of your legs intensify. And we're only here for a few seconds. So I really want to get the most out of these few seconds that I can, really maximize the effectiveness of the stretch by keeping my back as flat as I can. So you don't need to use a chair or the wall, but if you have a chair readily available to you, or if you want to put your hands on the wall, it's going to make getting into that stretch easier and a bit more comfortable, make it easier to find that flat back position and really isolate those hamstrings. So I know that was a little longer than 5 minutes, but you guys know me, the backs of my legs are always so tight, so I pretty much always like to spend a few extra seconds in that hamstring stretch. So it's a little more than 5 minutes, but that's our warm up. All right, so now our muscles are nice and warm. Let's go ahead and get these reps done. We are starting with push-ups, 10 reps. I'm doing plyo, jump out push-ups. You do any push-up variation you want. As soon as you're ready, here we go. I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So I'm going to start with my hands and feet close together. Jump the hands and feet out as you bend the elbows. Jump them back in as you push yourself up. That's 1 rep. I'm gonna zip it so I can do 9 more because these are tough. All right, so on to squats and abs. Doing sumo squats with an oblique crunch. So feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart, toes pointed out at about a 45-degree angle. Hands clasped behind the head. Squat, stay low, and then bend, bringing knee to elbow, feeling that crunch in your oblique, and then push the ground away to stand. I'm gonna stay on the same side for all 20 reps. So, squat, oblique crunch, bringing knee to elbow, or elbow to knee, I guess, and stand. Squat, crunch, and stand. That's 3. I'm gonna zip it and do 17 more, all to the same side. Do your best. That's 20. So squats are half done and abs are half done. Before we move on to lunges, we're gonna do another 10 push-ups. Any push-up variation you want to do is fine. My legs are jelly after that last exercise, so I'm just giving myself a few seconds. But if you don't need to pause and rest, don't pause and rest. Keep going, as long as you're not sacrificing your form. All right. So as soon as you're ready, 10 more push-ups. Just do your best. When I explained the format, I said I was going to do my lunges next, but I think I want to stay with squats and abs and get these all done before moving on to lunges. So you can move on to lunges if you want, but I think I want to repeat my squats and abs on the other side. So I'm going to do another 20 reps of squats and an oblique knee crunch this way. All right, so when you're ready, you can do it the way I said initially if you want. It doesn't matter. As long as you're getting your reps done, that's all that matters. All right, but I'm doing squats and abs. So squat, stay low, and now crunch to the opposite side. Press the heels into the ground and stand. That's one. I'm gonna do 19 more towards this wall. Do your best. Pretty sure that was 20. I feel like I might have lost track of my count. I'm gonna do an extra couple of reps, just in case, just to be safe. And I'm not gonna worry about ending up uneven on this side, because I think when I was doing the tutorial, I probably did more towards this side than this side, so I'm gonna say I've done at least 20 reps on each side. That means the squats and abs are done. We've done 40 squats, 40 reps of abs. And our push-ups are half done. We've done 2 sets of 10. So that's a total of 20 push-ups. So all we have left is our lunges. 20 reps on each side, and 2 more sets of 10 push-ups. So we're halfway done. Hang in there with me. If you need to pause and rest, pause and rest. When you're ready, let's go ahead and start on our next set of 10 push-ups. Our penultimate set of push-ups. All right, here we go. One more set to go. So first we're gonna do 20 lunges, all towards the same side. It's going to be really challenging. I'm gonna struggle with my balance because I'm so fatigued. So do your best, okay? You remember that your best is always good enough. So let your best be good enough, all right? So roll the shoulders back and down. Keep your chest lifted high. Keep your abs tight. Remember to elongate that spine as you sink into the lunge. Keep your back flat. Keep the weight in the heel of your lunging foot. So push that booty back. Step to the side and lunge. Tap the toes if you can. And then on the way up, you're gonna drive that knee up in front of you and guide it around with your hand. Place the foot down. That's one rep. All 20 reps to this side. So rep number 2. Step to the side and lunge. Drive the knee up and guide it around with your hand. That's 2. Lunge, knee up, hip circle. That's 3. That's 4. We're going to 20, so do your best. I'm going to zip it so I can focus as you do another 16 reps. That's 20. Good job. That's tough. That's an exercise that can't be rushed. It requires a lot of balance, a lot of focus, a lot of mental energy, and a lot of control. So good job. So lunges are half done. Before we get to the other leg, we're going to squeeze in one final set of 10 push-ups as soon as you're ready. bright idea to do those plyo push-ups today. I refuse to take responsibility for this. But that's it, that's all 40 push-ups. So, home stretch. Just have to finish up with these final 20 lunges. So start towards the other side of your workout space. You're gonna pick up the opposite foot, lunge towards the other wall, tap the toes if you can, and then drive the knee up and guide it around. I'm not gonna count that rep. I wanna do 20 cleaner reps than that, so I'm gonna just start from scratch. I'm gonna zip it because I need to focus. 20 lunges, here we go, as soon as you're ready. That's 20. So, one thing I forgot to tell you before the workout is that we're going to be doing a bonus round. So I stopped my timer because that's all 40 squats, all 40 lunges, all 40 reps of abs, and all 40 push-ups. So we have met our requirement to complete our challenge for today. But for this final week of the challenge, we're doing these little bonus rounds. I keep promising you that I'm going to explain why we're doing this, and I keep not having time, but I promise. Before the challenge is through, I will explain the purpose of these bonus rounds. For now, just know that you don't have to do this. It is completely optional, and I'm just going to do an extra 10 reps of each exercise. Okay, just for a little bonus. You can join me if you want, or you can just watch and cheer me on, or you can skip ahead to the cool down. All right, whatever you want. But I'm going to go ahead and start with squats and abs. I'll just alternate sides with each rep. So squat and crunch. Stand, that's 1, alternating sides, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Lunges. I'll do 5 towards one side and then 5 towards the other side. One. 3, 4, 5 for that balance, and 5. Even harder to balance as you get fatigued, so just remember, keep doing your best, keep fighting for it. Okay, I've put them off as long as I could. Time to do another 10 plyo jump out push-ups. These are super tough, but this is our last set. Thank God, those are done. All right, that's it. That's our little bonus round. If you joined me for those extra 40 reps, especially if you did so without even knowing why we're doing it, thank you. You rock. Just suffering with me through an extra 40 reps in solidarity. I love it. I appreciate all you guys so much. All right, so get up. It's important to just move around after that final rep. You don't want to, well, you probably do want to just collapse on your mat or on the floor. But it's really important that you get up and move around. You want to keep the blood flowing, keep your circulation going, and just keep moving. Keep moving your body while you allow your heart rate to come back down to your resting heart rate level, and while you allow your breathing to normalize. So if you like to do a more structured cool down, do whatever works for you, but honestly, just pacing back and forth is sufficient. Just want to keep moving, okay? So just shake out the arms, shake out the legs, and just keep moving. You can do a quick shoulder stretch. So bringing one arm across your body, and then just use the other arm to pull it in towards your chest. Make sure that the arm that's being stretched, your straight arm, is completely relaxed. And make sure especially that the shoulder that's being stretched is completely relaxed. If your shoulder is tense, if your muscles are tightened up like this, then you're not going to be getting the benefit of the stretch. If your, somebody's biting me. If your muscles are relaxed, then they'll be more pliable and you'll be able to really stretch that shoulder. So shake it out. What just bit me, but it's so itchy. All right, other side. So bringing the opposite hand or arm across your body and then using your other arm to pull it in towards your chest. Make sure that the arm that's straight is completely relaxed. Make sure this shoulder is completely relaxed so you can really stretch it out. And just remember to make sure that you're continuing to focus on slowing down your breathing. So nice, long, slow, controlled, deep breaths. You can keep pacing while you stretch the shoulders or just kind of shift your weight back and forth. Okay, let's shake it out. Swing out the arms. And we'll do a quick tricep stretch. So just bend your elbow and then place your opposite hand on the elbow and just gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Feeling that stretch in your tricep, making sure that your free hand is completely relaxed. It should be pointing straight down at the ground. So you don't want this hand up here somewhere by your shoulder. Relax the arm, relax the hand. The hand should be pointing straight down at the ground. Shake it out. And repeat that on the other side. So bend the opposite elbow. Place your hand on the elbow and just gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Thinking about your breathing, thinking about relaxing your free hand, relaxing that arm so your hand is pointing straight down towards the ground. Swing out the arms. The shoulders a couple of times. We'll finish up with a quick quad stretch. So even if your balance is usually pretty good, when you're fatigued, it gets more difficult to balance. So you may need to hold on to a chair or the wall for support. If not, you don't need to, but you're just going to pick up one foot, bring the foot behind you, reach back and grab the top of your foot with both hands, and then gently press your heel into your booty cheek. Really press it in there so that you're stretching your quad muscle. And as you do that, make sure you're tilting your pelvis forward to intensify that stretch even more. So think about tucking your booty underneath you and sucking your belly button back towards your spine. Shake it out. Other leg. So pick up the opposite foot, bring the foot behind you, grab onto the top of your foot with both hands, and press your heel. Use your hands to press your heel into your booty cheek, and as you're doing that, make sure you're tilting your pelvis forward. So you're kind of tucking your booty underneath you and sucking your belly button back like you're trying to touch your spine with your belly button. And remember, as you do that, to continue pressing your heel into your booty cheek. As soon as you put both of those elements together, you're going to instantly feel that stretch intensify in your quad. It makes the stretch much more effective. All right, so shake out the hands, shake out the arms, shake out the legs. That's our little cool down. Now, if you feel like your heart rate is still elevated and you're still breathing kind of heavily and you need a few more minutes, that's fine. Pause the video. You can continue to just pace around a little more. You can do some more light stretching if you want. And then once you feel that you are sufficiently cooled down, your heart rate is back to its normal resting level, and your breathing has normalized, then meet me right back here and we can do our bonus burpee together. No workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee, so we have just 1 rep left to go. Let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. Now, if you are an absolute beginner, that does not excuse you from having to do your bonus burpee. The bonus burpee is mandatory for everyone after every single workout. You must do a bonus burpee. The workout is not officially complete until you have done it. So it is part of the workout. It is part of this challenge for sure. You do not have to include a push-up with your bonus burpee if you don't want to. I always include a push-up with my bonus burpee, and I'm going to do a push-up for my bonus burpee right now, but if you don't want to do a push-up, you can eliminate it. All right, there are a million different burpee variations. Many of them contain a push-up and many of them do not. You can do any burpee variation you want with or without a push-up, but the bonus burpee itself is mandatory. All right, so if you are a beginner, I will walk you through how to do a beginner bonus burpee. You are going to start by standing in the center of your mat. You're going to bend down and place both hands flat on the mat in front of you. And then you're going to step your feet back one at a time so that you're in a plank position. Now knees down for the push-up if you're including a push-up. If not, you can eliminate it. Step the feet back in and stand. Come up onto your toes and do a little calf raise if you can. And if you want, you can add a little jump. If you are not a beginner and you would like to try to do the push-up from your toes, let's just go ahead and do one final bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you are ready, here we go. Final rep of the day. All right, with that, the workout is now officially complete. That ended up taking me 16 minutes and 41 seconds, a little longer than I would have liked, but it's fine. I was working hard and I actually really enjoyed this one. This was a new workout. I thought it was kind of cool, so I hope you liked it as well. Just remember that it can be very useful to time your workouts, but you don't have to. For me, I find it very helpful to time the workout so that then the next time I come back and do this exact same workout, I have a very clear goal in mind of what I want to do, because I know that I want to try to finish the workout faster than I did it today. I always want to be able to improve on my score from the previous time that I did the workout. And when I can keep track of my scores that way and I can see myself getting faster, it's really encouraging. It might not be useful for you, but it might be worth a try. So feel free to time the workouts if you want and if you think that will be something that is helpful for you. But remember, as long as you're minding your form and as long as you just got out here and got the reps done, that's what matters. So excellent job. So now it's really important that you're taking a good 15 or 20 minutes at least to stretch. If you can do your stretching right now, immediately after the workout, that's going to be the most efficient and the most effective time to get your stretching done, because your muscles are already nice and warm from the workout. If you don't have time to stretch right now, that's fine. You can do your stretching later in the day. Just remember that if you wait until later in the day to do your stretching, that your muscles will have gotten cold again. So you are going to have to take a few minutes to warm them back up before jumping into your stretching routine. Just don't skip your stretching. It doesn't matter when you do your stretching, just as long as you get it done. Taking the time to stretch every day is going to help alleviate any muscle soreness that you might be experiencing. It is also going to help reduce your risk of injury moving forward, and it's going to help you to improve your flexibility and your mobility, which is important in its own right. So please make sure that you're taking the time to stretch every day. If you're a beginner and you don't know how to stretch, you don't know where to begin, it's so easy to just open up YouTube and do a search for beginner stretching routine. There's going to be a ton of options. Just look through them, find one that looks good to you, and just do it. It doesn't matter what you do for your stretching, just as long as you get it done. I do have a stretching routine that I do every single day. If you would like that link, please just ask. I am happy to share it with you. But before I do my stretching, I am going to very quickly add on 20 minutes of moderate paced cardio with my jump rope. That's why I'm holding Victoria. Victoria is my beautiful silver jump rope. with the pretty light pink metallic handles. And if you would like to know where I got Victoria, there is a link and a coupon code in the description box down below the video. So click on the link, use coupon code Rebecca to save an additional 10% on your jump rope. I'm going to reset my timer for 40 rounds of 10-second rest intervals and 20-second work intervals. That's 20 minutes. I'm gonna get some music going, get my interval jump rope done, and then I can do my stretching real quickly before I hop in the shower, eat some lunch, and get on with the rest of this very, very busy day. The additional cardio is not required. It is not technically part of the challenge. But this is how I do the challenge. This is how I have done the challenge every year since year one, which was 2020. After every single workout, I add on 20 to 30 minutes of moderate paced cardio. 9 times out of 10 for me, that's jump rope. But sometimes I might decide to go for a jog, or I'll hop on the exercise bike for 30 minutes. When I have time, I'll go for a nice long hike. That is not happening today, but any kind of moderate paced cardio you want to do is fine. So you can go for a jog or just even a brisk walk. If you have time to go for a hike and you live close to hiking trails, that's another great option. If you have a bike, you could go for a nice long bike ride, or if you have an exercise bike or a treadmill or an elliptical or something like that, you can hop on one of those for 30 minutes or so. If you have access to a heavy bag, either as part of your home gym, or maybe if you have a gym membership, you could work on the heavy bag. That's another really cool option. If you live close to the beach, or if you have a pool, or you have access to a pool, you could go swimming. Swimming is amazing, amazing cardio. But if you have access to the field at your local high school, you could also just jog around the track, or you could do up and down the bleachers. If you have stairs in your home or in your apartment complex, or if you have a park or a hiking trail or a beach close by that has steps, up and down the steps is another really great form of cardio. So that's another possibility. It doesn't matter what you do for your additional cardio. Any type of moderate paced cardio you want to do is great. So just get creative, take advantage of whatever's around you, whatever's available to you. And again, you don't have to do any cardio at all if you don't want to. I'm just sharing this because I want to be upfront with you. I want to be completely transparent and let you know that this is the way I do the challenge, okay? I'm doing more than just these 160 reps every day. I am relying solely on these 160 reps that we're doing every day, our 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, and 40 push-ups every day for my strength training. That's all I'm doing for strength training. But I'm also adding on cardio. So the reason that I like to add on 20 to 30 minutes of cardio after the workouts is because I am trying to use this challenge to get myself back in shape. I need to lose weight. I need to improve my stamina. And I want to work on my cardiovascular health. I want to strengthen my heart and my lungs. And the additional cardio just goes a really long way towards helping me to accelerate that process. And it enables me to start seeing results faster, which is really encouraging. We're working out every Monday through Saturday. So that means I'm doing 6 cardio sessions a week. And I know that's a lot. You may not physically be able to do 6 cardio sessions every week, or you just may not have time to do it. That's completely understandable. And again, you don't have to do any cardio at all if you don't want to. But if you can find just 2 or 3 days a week to sneak in a cardio session, I strongly recommend that. I just know that it is going to help you start seeing results faster, and I want you to feel encouraged to keep going. So I know that you're going to be a lot happier with your results at the end of the challenge if you can find just 2 or 3 days a week to sneak in a cardio session. When and where you can, any kind of moderate paced cardio you want to do is fine. It doesn't need to be more than 20 or 30 minutes. And again, the additional cardio is not required. It is not technically officially part of the challenge, but it is strongly recommended. But whether or not you are doing any additional cardio today, our 161 reps are complete. We have done 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, 40 push-ups, and 1 bonus burpee. And if you did the bonus round with me, that means you did 50 squats, 50 lunges, 50 reps of abs, 50 push-ups, and 1 bonus burpee. So that means you actually did 201 reps today. Amazing job. And you guys, that is officially a wrap on day 38. Isn't that amazing? Only 2 days left. I can hardly believe it. This is the most people I've ever had join me for the challenge, and you guys are all doing an amazing job. So hang in there with me. We have just 2 days left. If you did this workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you're not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you to everyone who's doing the challenge with me. If you're not doing the challenge with me, please remember that it is not too late to join. It is never too late to join. Just do these final 3 days with me. That's amazing. Better to do the final 3 days than no days. But if you do want to go back to the beginning and start the challenge on day 1, of course that is recommended. That's the way I designed the challenge. So if you want to start on day 1, that's amazing. Save the playlist. Start by watching that day 1 video so that you know what to expect. And then when you are ready to begin the challenge, just make sure that you start with that day 1 workout on a Wednesday. Any random Wednesday will work. Just start with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday, and from there, all you have to do is follow along with the playlist and everything will fall into place for you. I have made it super easy to follow along, but of course, if you have any questions about the challenge or if you need help along the way, I am right here, so please just ask. Remember, I am not only doing the challenge with you, I'm not just here working out with you every single day, but I am here to help. I am here to answer questions and provide guidance. I am here to motivate you and encourage you and support you every step of the way. So please do not hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. I also need to say thank you to all of my new subscribers. I have been getting a lot of new subscribers lately, well, a lot more than I normally do, and I don't know why, but I'm not going to question it. It just makes me really, really happy. So if you are one of those new subscribers, thank you so much. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate all of you so very much. One final reminder that if anything is unclear about the format of today's workout and how everything fits together, if the format of today's workout is not going to work for you and you need help making adjustments, if you have questions about any of the exercises that we were doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with beginner modifications beyond what I have already provided in the video, I am right here to help. So please just ask. That is going to do it for today, and I will see you all right back here tomorrow for day 39. Bye.